Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be doing some XL square press-on nails. Today's set I'm going to be making with gel polish, and right now I'm just going in and using my e-file to remove the shine off the tips so that gel polish adheres. I'm currently using a fine grit sanding band, and I'm just lightly going over the surface of the nail just to lightly remove the shine. Today I am showing you the process of doing all 10 nails. I do usually only show the process of 5 nails, but I thought I would show you the process from start to finish, even down to me prepping the tips. I usually begin my videos with the tips already prepped, but I thought I'd just show you guys the full process. So whilst I'm prepping the tips, let's have a little talk. How are we all doing? Like, how are we getting on? How is 2026 treating you? Because for me, I feel like it's been a little bit of ups and downs. I don't feel like everything is I don't know, I feel like, I'll just be honest, I feel like every single year, and I bet this is the same for a lot of people, we all say, oh, this year I'm achieving this, that, this and that, but then we get humbled and reminded why we never achieved that thing the year before, because life just be lifing, like life be getting in the way of things and our achievements. So it's a case of like managing life and then trying to achieve things around life, like even choosing what to eat every day. Like, I find that an absolute joke, because what do you mean we have to wake up every day and think like, what am I eating today? What am I eating today? Or what am I feeding these kids today? Like, that is a lot of brain work for me. And then, like, speaking about meals and things, you have all this controversy on the internet about what's causing the big C word. I feel like the internet and what to believe is so hard, because like, what do you mean the water I'm drinking is killing me? I can't drink from the tap, drink bottled water, but then bottled water is full of plastic, and then it's, oh, get a filter, and then you get a filter, oh, filters don't clear out toxic metals, and it's just driving me absolutely daft. Like, we might as well just starve. But if you do have any nice healthy meal suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. But let me know what your main goal is for this year, because I love to hear people's goals and, you know, what they want to achieve, and also what you're doing to work towards that. You know, progress looks different for everyone, whether you're doing lots and lots every single day to get towards your goal, or you're just doing a little bit here and there. Consistency is key, and as long as you have a goal in mind and you are doing something teeny weeny every single day to get towards that goal, you will eventually get to where you want to be. So now I'll shut up about the life stuff, because I'm sure you've come here to get a break from that. I'm sorry. But now I'm just prepping the last 2 tips, and these are the pinkies, and then I'm going to go ahead and get them stuck onto my stand, and then we can begin applying our gel polish. So now the tips are all prepped. I'm just dusting off any dust before I go in with my Beetles base gel, as always. And I'm just going to be applying a nice even layer to all the nails, and then I'll be popping them in the lamp for a full 60 seconds, giving them a full cure before I go in with my base colour. And today I'm going to be using number 267 from Rogersome. I believe this came in like a pack of 6 or 5 gel polishes, but this is a super pink base, just the look what I wanted to go for today. So that's our first coat down. I'm just going in with my gloves and wiping the side walls of the nails. Please make sure you wear gloves for this step. I say it in every single video, you will get contact dermatitis eventually. If you've not got it now and you're doing this every single day, you eventually will get it. The same happened to me and it's really not nice, so I always wear gloves now. And then I'm going to be curing it for a full 60 seconds, and I'm just going to go ahead and get that first coat down on the other hand. And I'm going to be quiet for the rest of this process whilst I'm applying the base colour. I do end up doing 3 coats of this on both hands, and then I'll be back when it's time to get into the French tips. So now we've finished with the base colour. I am going to be going in with my white. This is from Vina Lisa. The coverage is amazing. You do only need one coat of this, and I've tried lots of white gel polishes, but this is now my go-to. I refuse to use any white, especially when doing French. And I'm just cleaning off my brush. The brush was already clean, but I do like to go in with a little bit of acetone on the lint-free wipe and just soften up those bristles. Now it's time to start painting the French tips, and I'm going to be using the A method just until I get the hang of how low down the smile line is going to be. So I'm just going in there, and you definitely need a long brush when doing your French tip. The longer the brush, the smoother the lines, especially when doing a French. Now small detailed nail art, so like painting stars and other little things like hibiscus flowers, for example, I do like to use a shorter bristled brush just because that way I have more control of the little details, whereas when I'm doing a French I do always like to use a longer brush, and I find it way more easier doing a French this way. And because I'm working on a long nail, I'm using the bottle from the brush to fill in the French tip. So now I'm going to be quiet for the rest of the French process, and I'll be back when it's time to airbrush the tips. this is how the French tips are looking, and now I'm just going to be preparing the airbrush, and I'm going to be adding in some pink gel polish. This is a pink gel polish from Beetles, and to be honest, I've never really had any problems when using Beetles gel polish in the airbrush. I feel like the consistency there is always great and I always get very good coverage. So I'm just adding a generous amount of that into the airbrush, and then I'm going to add some acetone, still not sure how you say it after all these years, and then I will be giving it a very good mix. So that's had a good mix, and now it's ready to go onto the nail. I do always like to just give it a little tester on a lint-free wipe or just something nearby, just to make sure that the consistency is good enough to go onto the nail. And now I'm just going to go ahead and airbrush all 10 nails. So now we've airbrushed all the tips, I'm just going to be going in with my Beetles matte top coat. And the reason why I'm using a matte top coat is because I want to do a chrome isolation. Now, another way I used to do chrome isolation was to use a normal, ordinary glossy top coat and then buff the nail and wipe it with acetone, but I've now started using a matte top coat and then just wiping it with acetone, and that way I don't need to make a mess by buffing the nail. So now the top coat's finished, I'm just going to be popping them in the lamp for 60 seconds, and now they're out the lamp. I am just going to be giving them a very good wipe with my lint-free wipe and acetone, and I just want to make sure that I give the surface like a very good wipe. That way we can really isolate that chrome. So I decided to do like a cheetah print on the French tips, and I am going to be mixing my black gel polish with top coat, an ordinary top coat, a shiny one, sorry, and that way you can get a nice shiny chrome finish rather than like a glittery chrome. I'm not sure if you've seen it, like where people just use plain black gel polish mixed with no top coat, it can come out very glittery, and that's not the finish what I was aiming for. And I'm just going to be going in with my dotting tool and doing this cheetah print. And I love cheetah print nails because cheetah print, leopard print, I'm not sure what to call it, but you know what I mean. I really love this design because it is so simple and so easy to do, but it adds a lot to the nails. So that's the leopard print done. I am just going to pop it in the lamp for 30 seconds. I don't want to put in for a full 60. I personally feel like the chrome adheres much better when it's only had half a cure. And now I'm just going in with some 3D swirls, and to be honest, I've really messed up at this point because what I should have done is I should have applied the chrome first and then done the swirls, but instead I did it the wrong way around. But anyway, was all good because the end result turned out still the same, but it could have gone very wrong, and that gold chrome, if I didn't apply it carefully, it could have stuck to these 3D swirls, and that is not what I wanted. So now we've applied the chrome and I've decided to add 2 cross charms to these nails just to add a little bit more to them. And you know, I feel like this is the vibe I was actually going for, and it all comes together very nicely. So I'm just going to apply these charms, pop them in the lamp and give them a full cure for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with some gold beads just to add a little bit more detail to the nails. So now I'm just going in with my macaw rhinestone gel, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that on the top of the gold beads. This way it will stop the beads from rusting, and it'll just basically hold them in place a little bit more. And now I'm going to be going in with my Beetles top coat. So the nails are now top coated and cured, and we are at the end of today's video. Thank you for everyone who's watched this far. Please be sure to like, comment and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any more videos. Thank you, bye.